Hello everybody, welcome to today's class. Now in this class we shall discuss about Iupac nomenclature of alkane, alkene and alkyne. Now for alkane this will be a very short discussion because I have already made a dedicated video on alkanes and in general the basic rules of Iupac nomenclature. If you have not seen this video, then I am giving the link to the description. Please go through this at least once, because at that case you will have a clear cut idea about Iupac nomenclature system. So today we shall have very brief discussion on naming of alkanes. Particularly in this class I shall focus on cyclic alkanes, then the rules of alkenes and alkynes. So without any delay, let's get started. Now in today's class we shall discuss the Iupac nomenclature of some alkanes and they will be cyclic in nature. So see this. First of all, this one. This is a 6-membered ring having no side chain, no multiple bonds. So it is one alkane, and since it is cyclic, so it is cyclic alkane. And first of all we have to find out the longest carbon chain. Here it is not chain, it is rather cyclic. So whatever may be the case, we have to find out the maximum number of carbons which are coming one after one. So here it will be 1, 2, 3, 6 carbon atoms. So since it is 6 carbon atom, so it will be a hexane system. So root name will be hex. Now before going to this, let us consider this one, prefix. Is there any prefix for this compound? And since it is cyclic, so primary prefix will be there, it will be cyclo. So the term cyclo will be added. This is for cyclic nature of this thing. Is there any side chain or something like this, extra group like halogens or alkyl groups? Nothing else. So in this place nothing will be there. Now come to this root name. Since it is 6-membered ring, so 6 carbon atoms are there, so it will be a hexane system and root name is hex. Now come to suffix. Primary suffix, it indicates the saturation level of the compound. Since it is saturated compound, no multiple bonds are there, so it will be of this category, alkane category, and for alkane primary suffix will be N, so it will be ended with N. So this is, that is cyclohexane is the name of this compound. Now come to this one. What is the difference between these two? Now this and this, here two side chains are there. This is one methyl group, this is one methyl group. So if we directly come to this system, then first of all we have to give the numbering to the carbon atom, and numbering should be done in such a way that the side chains or substituents get the minimum number. Now look, you may start from here or from here. If we start from here, the numbering, then it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6-member ring. So again it is a hexane system. Now side chains are on first and third carbon atom and two same groups are there. So we shall write dimethyl. Now since methyl groups are present on first and third carbon atom, so that is to be mentioned also. So it will be 1, 3 dash dimethyl. So this will constitute secondary prefix. Now come to primary prefix. It is cyclic in nature, so the term cyclo will be added, this as primary, and then as usual it will, after that it will be, so the ultimate name is 1,3-dimethyl cyclohexane. Now come to this example. Now in this, what is the difference between this and this? Here also two substituents are there, but in this case the substituents are of different types. Here two methyl groups are there, here one methyl and one ethyl group is there. Now if this be the case, again numbering to be done. First how to do the numbering. Numbering should be done in such a way that first of all the substituents get minimum number. Now if we give this one as 1, then it will become 3 if we move in this way, and if we go from here 1 2 3, it will be 3. Now so this group is either 1 or 3, this group again is either 3 or 1. So which one will be preferred? If we move from this, that will be correct, or if we move from here to here, that will be correct. Now in that case, since both the substituents are on first position from either of the sides or on the same position, then the alphabetical order of the groups will come into play. So you have to consider which group is coming first according to their alphabet. Since ethyl group is starting with E, so it is coming first because it is starting with M. E comes first. So this will be the proper way of giving the number to the carbon atoms, not this one. Next, another thing is there. This is ethyl, this is methyl. You have to see which one is coming first to mention this as secondary prefix. Since ethyl comes first, so we shall write down this first. So 1 ethyl, then this one, this will be 3 methyl. So this part is the secondary prefix. Since it is cyclic in nature, so it will be cyclo. Now since it is hexane, so ultimately it will be hex, and then due to its saturated nature, it will be ended with N. So the name will be 1 ethyl 3 methyl cyclohexane. That will be the Iupac name of this compound. Now come to this one. Now in this, what speciality is there? What is the difference between these two? Now here one group is there, here two groups are there. This is the only difference. Now in this case also, if we give the numbering from this side 1 2 3, or we may give in this way 1 2 3, then 4 5 6, or in this way 4 5 6, whatever may be the case. Let's see which one is correct. Now if we go in this direction, then the side chains are 1 and 1, and this one is on third. And if we move in this direction, then they are coming on 1 3 and 3. If we consider this one, this is tie, so we can't decide seeing the first position. Now come to the second position. It is 1, it is 3. It is deciding through which side we have to give the numbering, and since here this one is lower, so this way of giving the number is correct one. So we have to remove this thing. Now one big question arises, which one is to be mentioned first? We know that when we are giving the numbering, this is coming first, but when we shall write down them as the secondary substituents or secondary prefix, then alphabetical order should be preferred. So during mentioning, this is coming first, so this will be 3 ethyl, and after that we have to mention this, so it will be 1 1 dimethyl. Then as usual 6 membered, so it will be cyclohexane. So I hope you have understood this thing. So this is all about the Iupac naming of alkane system. Now we shall move to the Iupac names of alkenes and alkynes. Both are unsaturated compounds. So if we want to give the name of these two compounds, the process is almost the same. Only for double bond alkene, the last portion will be in, that is the primary suffix will be in, the name of the compound will be ended with in. And in case of triple bond, the name will be ended with -ine, since here triple bond is there. So everything before that will remain the same for either of these two compounds. Now that will be clear if we show you some examples. So let's move to Iupac names of alkene and alkynes. Now here I have shown two examples. So I shall first do the Iupac nomenclature of this compound. Now in this, since this is one alkene compound, so alkene is the functional group here. So you have to give the numbering in such a way that the alkene, that is double bond, remains the part of the main carbon-carbon chain, even if it does not become the longest one. So when we shall find out the longest carbon chain, this is to be keep in mind. So let's see which one becomes the largest one. Okay, this is incomplete. Look, in these two examples are written. So that is the correct structure. Now see which one becomes the longest carbon chain. 1 2 3 4 or 1 2 3 4 5. So this is becoming the longest carbon chain. And so this is becoming the side chain. Now if we come to this one, which one will be the number one? Let's see. 1 2 3 4 5 6 or 1 2 3 4 5 or 1 2 3 4 5 6. So the longest chain will be this one. Now this is the longest carbon chain, and in this case again this will be the side chain. Now how to give the name of these compounds? Now come to this one. This is almost similar to this, so we are solving this one. Now in this, is there any side chain or substituent? Yes, there is one substituent called ethyl. So this will be the secondary prefix for this compound, so that is to be mentioned first. So the name will be starting mentioning this one, and this is present on second carbon atom, so it will be 2-ethyl. Now is it a cyclic structure? No. So no primary prefix will be there. Now see what will be the root name. 1 2 3 4 5. 5 carbon atoms are there. So if 5 carbon atoms are there, the root name will be pent. Now is there any double or triple bond? Yes, one double bond is there between first and second carbon atom. Now if this is present between first and second carbon atom, then the minimum number containing carbon, that is this one, will be the first carbon, and its number, that is 1, will be the position of the double bond. Because if we say the position of the double bond is 1, automatically 1 and 2 will be its position, because the double bond will be between two adjacent carbon atoms, and in that case the minimum number is required to mention, then it will be sufficient to indicate its position. So the position of double bond will be 1. So after this pent, and it will be ended with "in", and before that the double bond may be present here, may be present here, may be present here. So whatever may be the case, you have to mention its position, and since it is on first carbon atom, so it will be 1 followed by "in". So here this is the root word, this is the primary suffix, and this will be the complete name of this compound. Now this is almost similar to this one, so this I am giving you as your home task. So do this thing and write the name in comment. Now come to the next example. Now look at this. These are the two examples where the compound contains double and triple bonds simultaneously. This compound contains 2 double bonds, and this one contains 1 double and 1 triple bond. So the basic thing is that one compound which is containing more than one unsaturated bonds or unsaturation. So what will be the naming system for that? Now for this, few conventions are there, few rules are there. So let me show the rules one by one. First of all, during numbering, when we shall give the number to the carbon atoms of longest carbon chain, the double or triple bond should be preferred. That is, during giving the numbers, unsaturation should be preferred. If I get from one side double bond first, then that will be the direction. If I get from the opposite side triple bond first, then that will be the way of giving the numbers. Okay, so no confusion in this. Let's see what happens in the first example. Now if we give the numbering, the double bonds are coming on these positions, and if we go from this side, it will be, so the position of the double bond here 1 and 3. Now since this one is greater, this is smaller, so we have to give the numbering from right side. So this is the correct way of giving number and this is the wrong one. Now next thing, how to mention two double bonds in this place. Now here one convention is there. When we shall write down the root name of the compound, in that case we shall write the alkane name, that is the parent alkane name as usual, only removing last N and E. That is, if it is pentane system, then from pentane we shall remove this one. Okay, and after that we shall mention the double bonds indicating its position and number. So what will be the name? So let's write down the name. Look, this is a pentane system. Now before that, see whether any secondary prefix is there or primary prefix is there. No side chain, no substituent is there, so nothing from this portion is there in this compound. So directly come to this portion, root word. Root word is pent, but in that case, since two double bonds are there, so this portion will be omitted. So ultimately the root name will be written in this way, that will be called penta. And now two double bonds are present on first and third carbon atoms, so that will be mentioned 1, 3, and since two in are there, so it will be called diene. So that will be the name of this compound. Now similar thing might happen if two triple bonds were there in the compound. In that case only that might be ine, otherwise the rest part will be the same one. Okay, now come to this. Here one double bond and one triple bond as there. Now in that case, again, first of all, longest carbon chain. Longest carbon chain is this one, only one possibility is there. So the question arises from which direction we shall give the numbering. Now remember one thing, again the same thing or same rule will be followed, that is from which direction we are getting any of the multiple bonds first. So let's see. If we move from right, then it will be this, and if we move from left, then the numbering will be this one. Now this will be CH2. Since this is getting the lower number from left side, so that will be the correct way of giving the number to the carbon atoms. The numbering is done. Now next thing, now in this case one double bond and one triple bonds are there, and when both double and triple bonds are there, then the compound will be treated as ine, or it belongs to acetylene series or alkyne series, and ene or double bond is to be mentioned before that as lower important functional group. Okay, so let's see what the name becomes. Now since it is a 7-membered chain, so the name will be hex as root word. Now this is to be mentioned as the secondary functional group as suffix, so it will be 1 in. 4 is the position of the triple bond, so it will be 4 in. Now in this, one new thing is there in this position, since simultaneously we are mentioning the double and triple bond. In that case, this E is not written. In this way, the compounds having both double and triple bonds are named. Now we shall discuss the last example for today's class, which will make all confusion clear regarding the namings of alkene and alkyne, because one more important and new thing is remaining. So let's move to this part. Now look, these are the two examples. We shall discuss these two examples minutely. So let's see what is happening in the first case. Now in this, two multiple bonds are there, here two double bonds are there. So when we shall give the numbering, definitely the same rule will be followed which is discussed earlier. So 5, this is the numbering, and when we are giving the number, we are giving preference to the double bonds, as here it is the functional group. So we shall give it preference when they will come first. That will be the proper way of giving the number to the carbon atoms. So we are giving less importance to the side chain or substituent. Now what will be the name of this compound? Since it is the side chain or substituent, it will come in secondary prefix portion, so that is to be mentioned first as this. Now after this, as usual, so the name of the compound will be 4-methyl penta-1,3-diene. Now come to next example. Look, this is the compound. So first of all, numbering. Now look, if we move from left, the double bond is coming on first, and from this side it is coming on first. So the position regarding the double bond is tie. From either of the sides, the position of the double bonds are same. So in that case, the way of giving the number to the carbon atoms will be controlled by the extra things which are present in the compound. Here the substituent methyl group. So this methyl will contribute. Now we have to see from which direction this methyl is coming first. Since from right it is coming first, so that will be the correct way of giving the number to the carbon atoms. After that, as usual, so I am just writing the name. So it will be 4-methyl-buta-1,3-diene. So one by one we have discussed almost all rules regarding the nomenclature of alkene and alkynes. At last we shall discuss one example which will contain multiple side chains or substituents in alkene and alkyne. So let's see what be the name of this compound. Now look, this is one alkene. Sorry, here this hydrogen will not be there. Now this is one alkene, and in this alkene several side chains are there or substituents are there. So first of all we shall find out the longest carbon chain as usual. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this is only possibility, but from which direction we shall give the number to the carbon atoms, and in that case also we have to give the preference to the double bond. So since this is coming on second from this side, so that will be the proper way of giving the numbering. So numbering will be like this. Now which are remaining as side chains? Here one ethyl group here one chlorine which will be mentioned as chloro, and here one methyl group. So 3 substituents are there. When multiple side chains or substituents are there, then the name of the side chains are to be mentioned according to their alphabetical order. So here also the same thing will be followed. So alphabetically this come first, so that will be mentioned first. So this is on second carbon, so this will be 2-chloro. Then after this is ethyl, this is methyl. So ethyl starts with E, which comes first, so we shall write down this one, 4-ethyl, and after that the last one, 3-methyl. So this portion is the secondary prefix of this compound. Nothing, this is not cyclic, so nothing from here. And longest carbon chain contains 6 carbon atoms, so it is a hexane system and root name will be hex. So after this we shall write hex, and for double bond it will be in, and 2 is the position, so it will be 2 and in. So this is the name of this compound. Okay, so I hope you have understood the naming system of alkane, alkene and alkyne. So that's all for today. Bye bye.